There was nothing unusual about the way we met. Friends of friends. A concert. A night that turned into morning. She laughed at my dumb jokes, and I thought her voice sounded like a song I'd heard once but could never name. Nothing cinematic. Just timing and two people who didn't have better plans. We moved in together after 11 months. It felt early, but everything with her always felt like why not instead of why. She worked from home. Freelance marketing, she said. Mostly social media strategy and email campaigns. I didn't ask too many questions. She was good with words, better with tech, and always busy. That added up in my head. We had our routines. She made matcha in the mornings. I walked to the deli 2 blocks down. At night she wore these soft fleece shorts and oversized tees and wrapped her hair into a bun so effortlessly it felt unfair. Our lives overlapped cleanly, like a Venn diagram that never fought for space. I never suspected anything. That's the strange part. People assume you feel the tension, that there are signs. But when you're in it, really in it, the quiet can feel like peace, not concealment. She was attentive, sweet, touched my arm when she passed behind me, sent me memes about cats and dry shampoo, bought me pizza on my birthday, remembered my mom's name. We didn't fight much. She said she hated drama. I believed her. The only thing she guarded was her workspace. She had a second bedroom turned into a home office. Said she needed the separation for focus. Makes sense. She even had a little sign on the door that read, "Do not disturb, genius at work." I thought it was cute. Thought she was just quirky like that. Sometimes I'd hear soft music behind the door. Not the kind you'd expect from meetings. More curated. But I figured she had lo-fi playlists for mood. Everyone does now. I didn't peek in. She always locked it when she wasn't inside. At the time, I took that as professional boundaries. Looking back, it was a stage. And I was standing just off it, completely in the dark. Then one night, something changed. I was at a friend's house, watching a basketball game. Someone was scrolling Reddit on their phone and started laughing. Loud. The kind of laugh that pulls attention. "Bro," he said, "this girl's literally everywhere." He flipped the screen toward me, and my whole life paused. Because there she was, wearing a lace bodysuit I'd never seen, sitting on a chair that looked a lot like ours. Hair in the exact bun she wore on Tuesdays. The username was a twist on an old Instagram handle she hadn't used in years. I didn't say anything. Didn't grab the phone. Didn't react. I just stared. And in that 1 second, I saw two people. The one I lived with, and the one I clearly didn't know at all. The next morning, I waited until she left for her morning Pilates class. She always left around 9:40. Routine. Predictable. I didn't ask where she really went. Not yet. I just needed 30 quiet minutes alone. I opened my laptop. Created a new email. Generic name, no identifying links. Then I used it to sign up for OnlyFans. She had mentioned once that she hated the platform. Said it cheapened real creativity. I'd believed her. I typed in the username I remembered from Reddit. The page loaded slowly, like it knew what was about to happen. Her face was the first thing I saw. Smiling. Hair down. Light makeup. The kind of expression she used when she knew she looked good, but wanted it to feel effortless. She was leaning on our kitchen counter. The same one I made breakfast on every morning. She had over 400 posts. Her bio was flirty. Playful. Something about being sweet with a spicy streak and loving custom content. She was listed as single. Tips encouraged. Her subscriber count wasn't shown, but the engagement was obvious. Dozens of likes and comments under every post. Some were videos. Some were sets. Some had thumbnails I couldn't bring myself to click. It was her. No question. I studied everything. The layout. The naming of posts. The schedule. It was like a business. One she'd been running for months. Possibly longer. There were sets labeled with days I remembered well. The night she said she was sick and stayed in bed. The afternoon she said she was doing strategy calls. The weekend she flew out to visit an old friend from college. Each post timestamp matched those days. Each one proving I'd been nowhere near the truth. She never mentioned anything. Never left clues. She moved through life like someone who had nothing to hide, or like someone who had hidden things for so long, it had become second nature. I didn't message her. Didn't subscribe. Just watched. Her last update had gone live the night before. At 11:17 p.m. I remember because I had been sitting on the couch, half asleep, watching her phone light up. She told me it was her sister. I nodded. Said goodnight. Rolled over. While I slept, she was working. I refreshed the page. Scrolled to the bottom. The oldest post was from over a year ago, months before we moved in together. She had started this long before me. And somehow, I was the one who had walked into her life like the uninvited guest. The more I scrolled, the more I noticed a pattern. She wasn't just uploading at random. She had structure. She had hours, days, themes. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 11:30 a.m., new content. Sunday nights, Q&A live streams. Friday afternoons, polls for custom requests. Her feed was cleaner than most people's resumes. I remembered those blocks of time well. That's when she always said she had client calls. She even used the same phrases every week. Branding pitch, client deck, analytics call. Once she even asked me to keep my voice down during a webinar. I had helped her with her fake career. Carried her ring light from the closet. Found the missing USB cable. Gave her space when she asked. All the while, thinking I was supporting someone building something real. Turns out I was just part of the set. Our apartment was her studio. Our furniture was her props. That chair she posed on. It was the one my aunt gave me when I moved out at 19. The plant in the background. I'd watered it the morning before she used it for her rainy day lounge look. She had multiple outfits staged in a rolling drawer under her desk. I thought it was just old clothes. She had called it clutter. She told me not to touch it. Professional boundaries. I should have known. People with nothing to hide don't need that many rules. Sometimes, after a shoot, she'd walk out of the room glowing. Literally, like her skin had absorbed electricity. She called it good energy from a successful call. I had no idea I'd been paying for her lighting bill. And then came the sound. I'd never noticed it until I started listening. The way the door would close just slightly tighter on those days. The tiny click of the ring light being turned on. The shift of music from ambient to curated. Not chill beats. Not work mode. Mood. Every piece made sense now. Even the tripod I once helped her adjust, because Zoom doesn't frame well on chairs. I remember she laughed when I tightened the bass. Told me I was too good at this. She wasn't wrong. I made her studio possible. I looked back at the subscriber feed. There were usernames I didn't recognize, but patterns I did. One guy tipped her on every post. Another requested the same outfit twice. Some left emojis. Others wrote full letters in the comments. She replied to almost all of them. She told them things. Intimate things. Inside jokes. Promises. None of them had ever held her hand. I had, but I was the only one not on the list. The worst part, I couldn't even say she cheated. Because technically, she hadn't touched anyone. But she let thousands of people into a version of her I never met. And I didn't even have the password. There's something eerie about watching someone act normal when you know they're not. After I found her page, she didn't change a thing. Still made her smoothies. Still asked me how I slept. Still sent TikToks she thought I'd like. Meanwhile, every 2 days, her profile updated. New photos. New captions. More comments. More fans. I started tracking it all. Quietly. Like clockwork. She had an entire ecosystem. Regulars who tipped on command. One guy always asked for sunset lighting. Another sent her digital roses after every post. She responded like she cared. Told them she loved the attention. Said she'd think of them next time. Her fans thought they were special. So did I. Every time she posted, I matched the setting to our apartment. I'd walk through the rooms after she finished. Check for tripod legs. Lip gloss. A folded towel still warm from where she sat. She cleaned up quickly. She was efficient. Polished. Professional. She never hid the gear. She just masked its purpose. That old mic I thought was for her Zoom clients? It was a full condenser. High-end. I'd set it up for her. She told me it was for voice clarity. Now I knew what she really needed it for. Our shared expenses suddenly made more sense. The expensive LED panel. The soundproof foam she ordered and said was for reverberation. The sudden interest in organizing the closet, for backdrops, not sweaters. She used my help to build the stage. And I stood just off camera, holding the wires. One night, she asked me to fix a fuse. Said the outlet in the office was acting weird. I remember kneeling down behind her desk, staring at the ring light plug. I tightened it, checked the breaker. She thanked me, kissed my cheek, said I saved her life. Hours later, she posted a photo in that exact spot, wearing a top I thought was buried deep in storage. The caption read, "Back online, thanks to my handyman." The The comments poured in. Hearts. Fire emojis. One guy wrote, "Wish I could be your handyman tonight." She replied, "Be careful what you wish for." And there I was, sitting in the next room, wondering how many more posts had secret credits with my name on them. At some point, watching from the outside wasn't enough. I wanted to know what it felt like to be one of them. So I subscribed. It was easy. Fake name, prepaid card, different browser, clean slate. Within minutes, I was inside. The full page loaded like a secret diary written in high definition. She posted twice that day. One video, one photo set. Both recent. Both clearly filmed in our apartment. I recognized the shadows on the blinds. The dish towel hanging behind her. Even the chipped tile she always tried to hide with filters. I clicked play. And I saw her. Not like the woman I lived with. Not like the one who fell asleep on my chest or stole my fries when I wasn't looking. This version was curated. Sold. Enhanced. And yet it was still her. She looked straight into the camera, said things with her voice I'd never heard in our bedroom. Laughed like someone watching themselves be seductive. It was the kind of performance that made strangers feel wanted. Important. Loved even. Except it wasn't real. That was the part one kept coming back to. It wasn't real for them. And maybe it wasn't real for me either. She replied to my anonymous message like I was just another fan. I tested her. Wrote something subtle. Not creepy. Just curious. She responded within the hour. Called me babe. Said she liked my energy. Told me to let her know if I had any special requests. I stared at the message. She didn't know it was me. And yet, she flirted like it meant something. I thought about messaging again. Saying something obvious. Something personal. But what would that prove? She was playing a part. Selling a version of herself that had nothing to do with me. Or maybe it had everything to do with me. Just not in the way I wanted. I wasn't jealous. I was displaced. Like I had been evicted from my own relationship and replaced with a rotating cast of usernames and tips. She kept asking if I was okay that week. Said I seemed distracted. I told her I was tired from work. She smiled, kissed me, and told me to rest. Said she'd be on a client call for the next hour. I nodded, watched her close the door, and opened her profile on my phone. She went live 8 minutes later. I didn't confront her. There was nothing to say that hadn't already been shown in high resolution. Every answer I might have wanted was already available in her paywalled archive. Every version of her, carefully scripted, filtered, posed, was on display for anyone willing to pay $10 a month. I was just one of them now. And once I accepted that, it became clear what I had to do. No notes. No shouting. Just the exit. I started unsubscribing. From her page. From the shared streaming services. From our digital life together. I logged out of her world like someone quitting a job they didn't apply for. She noticed eventually. Asked why I deleted our shared calendar. Why I removed myself from the grocery list app. Why her phone no longer auto-connected to my Bluetooth speaker. I said I was simplifying. She smiled and said that was probably healthy. She had no idea. A few days later, I packed my things. Took only what was mine. Left her a small note on the desk. Not a letter, just a username. The one I used to subscribe. No message. No threats. Just that. She'd figure it out eventually. Probably late at night, after another live stream, when she scrolled through her DMs and realized who had really been watching. She'd think back on every message. Every tip. Every line she'd sent to someone she thought was just another lonely stranger. She'd realize he wasn't lonely. He was just done. When I walked out, she was on another client call. Door closed. Ring light humming faintly. She didn't hear me leave. She'll hear the silence soon enough.